Hello, scholars and families, and welcome back to my videos. Miss Cherney here with your video for Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. I'm wondering if you might be able to hear some nature sounds during my video because it turns out the birds around my house know that I'm talking about animals, so they are all deciding to be very loud as I'm filming. So if you hear a bird in my video, silent connection, because the birds know that we're talking about Jane Goodall. Okay, so before we get started, make sure you have your printed packet and a pencil or a blank sheet of paper and a pencil. I'm going to show you how to do this whole lesson on a blank sheet of paper. You're going to do it with me. And it's really exciting because today we are getting ready to write our informational paragraphs tomorrow. So that's coming up and we're getting so excited for it. In order to make sure that tomorrow goes as smooth as possible with your writing, we're going to include all of the information that we're looking for right now with this video. So the question that we're focusing on is, how did Jane Goodall make discoveries about animals? Let's read that again together. Remember, in DePaul and in UC, when we see a question, we always read it 2 times. We always read it 2 times. So let's read it together on 2, starting with the word how. 1, 2. How did Jane Goodall make discoveries about animals? Before we answer that question, though, we're going to make a chart that looks a little bit like this. If you have your printed packet, you're going to find this evidence chart at the end of your work for today. If you would like, if it's easier, you can rip this page out and work from there, or you can just keep it in and you can keep turning back to your evidence chart. If you don't have it printed, voila, I'm going to show you how to make your own. Okay. If you already have your packet printed, I'm about to talk to the scholars that don't have their packets printed right now and show them how to make this. So if you already have it printed, please go ahead and pause the video now and watch me, Jane, one more time to refresh your memory about me, Jane. Okay, for all of the scholars that don't have their packets printed, I'm going to show you how to make a mini anchor chart on your own. So in order to make this page, all you need to do, is take a marker or a pencil or whatever you would like, and you're going to draw one black line down the middle of your paper. To do this, you can take your paper and just fold it right in half. Then you can trace that black line once you open it back up. So that way you have that one black line. And then this next part gets a little bit tricky. Then what you would need to do is draw 3 sideways lines to make 4 different rows of boxes. Now, you might need an adult to help you make something like this, and then you can fill in all the words on your own. But this is what I did. I drew a big line down the middle, and I drew 3 sideways lines. Those are called horizontal lines. And then I have my whole chart. The next thing I did is I filled in the 2 titles of the chart. Friends, if you were watching me, Jane, and paused your video, welcome back, because we're about to get started talking about each of the 2 headings of our chart. We have, what did Jane discover about animals, and how did Jane discover the information? Notice I put a blue box around my favorite words. The words what and how. Repeat those words on 2. The words what, 1, 2, and the word how on 2, 1, 2, how. So these words give us a clue about the sort of things we're going to fill in our boxes. What tells us we're going to write information about animals in these boxes. How tells us that we're going to write actions of Jane in these boxes. So Jane's actions go here, and what Jane discovered, the information goes here. Notice, as I share my screen with you again, notice that the question that we're going to think about for our informational paragraph starts with the word how. This is telling us that we need to pay extra close attention to this second side of our chart. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, this first one's easy. What did Jane discover about animals at the beginning of the story? And here's what we need to fill in. Birds make spiders spin chase each other up and down trees. So to fill in this blank, we need to go back to our text and look for a page that tells us the answer to those questions. So we're going to listen to the text and we're going to stop the text once we hear that information. Friends, if this video is not playing on my video on your computer, you can always open this video in a new tab and stop at the same place I do. Say whoa. Say whoa. That's exactly what we were looking for. She watched birds making their nests, spiders spinning their webs, and squirrels chasing one another up and down trees. So now we know what to fill into our blanks. Nests, webs, and squirrels. So we would go back to our chart and fill those in the blanks. Once you're done filling in these blanks here, go ahead and write these sentences where I have circled on your own chart. So go back to your chart and write down, birds make nests, spiders spin webs, squirrels chase each other up and down trees. So that goes on your chart right here. Pause the video now, make sure that's on your chart, and we're gonna keep going and figure out how she discovered that information. One more time. We're gonna fill in these blanks with the information we just read from the text. Then you're gonna take this information and put it on your chart right here. Also goes right here. I'll meet you back here when you're done. Welcome back. Now the next thing we have to think about is how she discovered this information. What did she do? Did she watch? Did she study and read books? Or was she observing and very still? So your choices are, she watched, she studied and read books, and she observed and was still. So to find out how she did that, we're gonna go back to our text and look. She watched birds making their nests. Stop. Read that again. She watched. Your brain should be going, alert, 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 because it tells you her action right there. She watched. So now that you know how she found out that information, we can go back to our chart, back to our packet, and circle she watched, and cross out the other one. So circling she watched, we don't need B, and we don't need C. So then you're gonna take she watched, and you're gonna write it down right here in your big chart. This is why I suggested that you maybe tear out that last chart because it's a lot of going back and forth. So write down she watched, and I'll meet you back here when you're done. Excellent job. Okay. The next two, I'm gonna help you with a little bit, but you're mostly gonna do on your own. So now that you know how to find the answers, we're gonna walk you through the steps one more time, and then the last one you're gonna do on your own. So this next box, we're wondering what Jane discovered about animals, but specifically, where did Jane learn about plants and animals? So to figure out where she learned about plants and animals, we're going to go back to our text and read until we figure out where she learned about plants and animals. Stop. Friends, where did Jane learn about plants and animals? In her backyard. So you're going to go back to your packet and fill in her backyard. Jane learned about plants and animals in her backyard. That's also what you're going to fill in this empty box. Once you have done that, now you're ready to figure out how she found out this information. Did she watch again? Did she study and read books, or did she observe and was very still? So we're going to go back to our text one more time and research. Jane learned all that she could about the animals and plants she studied in her backyard and read about in books. Studied in her backyard and read about in books. I wonder if we have an answer choice that means the same thing. Go ahead and cross out the wrong answers and circle the right answer and fill it in this part of your chart. Nice. Okay, for the last set of boxes, you're thinking about what did Jane observe about chickens? And you're writing that down in the box. And then how did she discover the information about chickens? So this one you're going to do on your own. You're going to go back to the video, open a new tab with the video if you don't already have it open. Remember, it is linked in your work from yesterday. You can also just type in me, Jane, and it should come up. You're going to think about what did she observe about chickens? You're going to figure out how she learned that about the chickens, and you're going to fill that in the last two boxes of your charts. So one more time, you are going back to the video, finding the page about chickens, writing down what Jane discovered about chickens and how she discovered about chickens. Okay. For now, we are done, but I'm really excited because tomorrow we get to put it all together and write an informational paragraph. So I'll meet you back here for that tomorrow. In the meantime, best of luck on the rest of your chart and have a wonderful rest of your day.